The questions every company asks, pre-install Q&A. Every single time I do a company presentation, I get the same questions every single time. So let me just answer them right now so you don't get caught off guard. Is our data safe? Where does it go? Now, this one comes up every time and it's a legitimate question. Now, Victor has enterprise security and he has documentation of it on their website. Here's what I say when I'm in the room. Victor lives in your Slack. He lives in your Teams. He's not some third party app that's storing your emails in a database somewhere. He's accessing your tools with your permissions, and you can revoke those permissions at any time. It's similar to other software integrations. You're already connected to HubSpot, right? And HubSpot's connected to your email, right? You're already connected to QuickBooks, and QuickBooks is connected to your bank. Like this is the same idea. And I always loop in their IT person before and during install for exactly this reason. Their IT team can review what Victor has access to and what he's connected to, and make sure it fits their security requirements. That conversation should happen before anything goes live anyway. And if you get hit with any technical questions that you can't answer, please don't guess. The Victor team has security documentations and they can share with you any information that's going to help in that particular situation. What happens when he gets something wrong? He will. Let me just say that up front. Victor is not a magic 8 ball. He's an AI employee. And like any employee, he's going to have moments where he misunderstands the ask. He does the thing in the wrong order or comes back with a question when you thought he already knew it. That's normal. That's expected. The way I frame it is you review Victor's work the same way you'd review a new hire's work, especially in the first months. You check in, you correct, you give feedback, and then he adjusts and he remembers. And over time, those moments get less frequent. And I always go back to that 50% framing. So even if he's right 50% of the time, how much time did you just get back? How many things stop falling through the cracks? That is still a win. How long before we actually see it working? Realistically, you should see something in the first day. I mean, not everything, not the full plan running, but at least one thing. One moment where someone goes, oh, that just happened automatically and I didn't have to do anything. That moment is, again, your proof of concept. Full deployment across all departments. I try to do that structure over at least 4 months. If it's just one department, then it should be pretty quick. The companies that try to do everything at once usually end up with Victor half set up in 3 places and nobody using him well anywhere. So one department, let them fall in love with it, then the next, then the next. What's an API? Now, this one comes up more than you think, especially once you start talking about connecting Victor to their tools. And the best way I've heard it explained is an API is like a waiter. You sit down at a restaurant, you give the waiter your order, the waiter takes it back to the kitchen and gives it to the chef. The chef looks at it and sends it back with the waiter to you. You never walk into the kitchen, you never talk to the chef directly. The API is the waiter. It's the messenger that carries your request to the system that does the work and carries the answer back to you. That's all it is. So when I tell a company Victor connects to your tools through APIs, that's what I mean. He's placing the order and bringing back the plate. Nobody has to go into the kitchen. Do I have to be technical? No, I am the least technical person in most of the rooms. I don't code. I've never built a workflow from scratch. I am a marketer who talks to people for a living and happens to have figured out how to use an AI employee. I just talk to Victor like you talk to a person. That's the thing. The biggest adjustment most people have to make is believing it's actually that simple. They keep waiting for the complicated part, and there isn't one. What is this going to cost us? I never answer this with a number first. I answer it with a question. What's it costing you right now not to have it? What does it cost when your estimator misses something on a 900-page document and ended up underbidding the project? Put a number on that. Then Victor's costs look very different. If you remember only one thing when you go into these conversations, remember this. Almost every question a company asks you is really a question about return on investment. Is this going to be worth it? How much will it cost? What will we get back? And how quickly will we see a difference? Answer their questions in those terms. Here's what it costs. Here's what it can give back. And here's how quickly we believe you can begin seeing results. When you learn how to explain that clearly, a lot of the other objections become much easier to handle.